Leonardo da Vinci, Italian, Leonardo from Vinci, born April 15, 1452, Anciano, near Vinci, Republic of Florence, Italy, died May 2, 1519, Clos, now Clos, France, Italian painter, draftsman, sculptor, architect. Last Supper, 1495-98, and Mona Lisa, c. 1503-19, are among the most widely popular and influential paintings of the Renaissance. A well-spent day brings happy sleep. When counting, try not to mix chickens with blessings. We are deceived by promises and time disappoints us. The most beautiful words of love are told in silence for a look. The eye encompasses the beauty of the whole world. Avoid the precepts of those thinkers whose reasoning is not confirmed by experience. It is ill to praise and worse to blame the thing which you do not understand. All thoughts start from emotions. The deeper the feeling, the greater the pain. Vows begin when hope dies. Tears come from the heart and not from the brain. Nothing is hidden under the sun. Great love is born of great knowledge of the thing that is loved, and if you do not know it, you can love it little or not at all. Why does the eye see a thing more clearly in dreams than the imagination when awake? The greater the man's soul, the deeper he loves. One has no right to love or hate anything if one has not acquired a thorough knowledge of its nature. Happy will they be who lend ear to the words of the dead. He only moves toward the perfection of his art whose criticism surpasses his achievement. The discovery of a good wine is increasingly better for mankind than the discovery of a new star. To enjoy, to love a thing for its own sake and for no other reason. I wish to work miracles. It's not enough that you believe what you see. You must also understand what you see. You don't get into trouble because of the things you don't know. It is the things you know that really get you into a mess. Our body is dependent on heaven and heaven on the spirit. Just as courage imperils life, fear protects it. Common sense is that which judges the things given to it by other senses. For, verily, great love springs from great knowledge of the beloved object, and if you little know it, you will be able to love it only little or not at all. Where there is shouting, there is no true knowledge. Nature is the source of all true knowledge. She has her own logic, her own laws, she has no effect without cause nor invention without necessity. Although nature commences with reason and ends in experience, it is necessary for us to do the opposite, that is to commence with experience, and from this to proceed to investigate the reason. Experience does not err. Only your judgments err by expecting from her what is not in her power. Learning acquired in youth arrests the evil of old age, and if you understand that old age has wisdom for its food, you will so conduct yourself in youth that your old age will not lack for nourishment. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so a life well spent brings happy death. Human subtlety will never devise an invention more beautiful, more simple or more direct than does nature, because in her inventions nothing is lacking, and nothing is superfluous. As every divided kingdom falls, so every mind divided between many studies confounds and saps itself. In rivers, the water that you touch is the last of what has passed and the first of that which comes, so with present time. He who loves practice without theory is like the sailor who boards ship without a rudder and compass and never knows where he may cast. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. Oh! Wretched mortals, open your eyes. All our knowledge has its origins in our perceptions. The truth of things is the chief nutriment of superior intellects. Nature never breaks her own laws. Learning never exhausts the mind. It's easier to resist at the beginning than at the end. Nature is the source of all true knowledge. She has her own logic, her own laws. She has no effect without cause nor invention without necessity. Iron rusts from disuse, water loses its purity from stagnation, even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. Why does the eye see a thing more clearly in dreams and the imagination when awake? While I thought that I was learning how to live, I have been learning how to die. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. Art is never finished, only abandoned. Anyone who conducts an argument by appealing to authority is not using his intelligence, he is just using his memory. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. It is easier to contend with evil at the first than at the last. Wherever good fortune enters, envy lays siege to the place and attacks it, and when it departs, sorrow and repentance remain behind. He who possesses most must be most afraid of loss. Truth was the only daughter of time. Wisdom is the daughter of experience. Necessity is the mistress and guide of nature. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. Time stays long enough for anyone who will use it. People react to fear, not love. They don't teach that in Sunday school, but it's true. Life is pretty simple. You do some stuff. Most fails. Some works. You do more of what works. If it works big, others quickly copy it. Then you do something else. The trick is the doing something else. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. He who loves practice without theory is like the sailor who boards ship without a rudder and compass and never knows where he may cast. Every action needs to be prompted by a motive. Intellectual passion drives out sensuality. Marriage is like putting your hand into a bag of snakes in the hope of pulling out an eel. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Beyond a doubt, truth bears the same relation to falsehood as light to darkness. There are three classes of people: those who see, those who see when they are shown, those who do not see. Tears come from the heart and not from the brain. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. He who wishes to be rich in a day will be hanged in a year. Marriage is like putting your hand into a bag of snakes in the hope of pulling out an eel. Painting is concerned with all the 10 attributes of sight, which are darkness, light, solidity and color, form and position, distance and propinquity, motion and rest. Virtue is our true wealth and the true reward of its possessor. It cannot be lost, it never deserts us until life leaves us. A good painter is to paint two main things: men and the working of man's mind. Patience serves as a protection against wrongs as clothes do against cold. Every action needs to be prompted by a motive. To know and to will are two operations of the human mind. Discerning, judging, deliberating are acts of the human mind. Love shows itself more in adversity than in prosperity, as light does, which shines most where the place is darkest. Look at the light and admire its beauty. Close your eyes, and then look again. What you saw is no longer there, and what you will see later is not yet. Many have made a trade of delusions and false miracles, deceiving the stupid multitudes. Painting is poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen. Every now and then, go away, have a little relaxation, for when you come back to your work, your judgment will be sure.